All right, so I just want to share a quick personal preparedness story. Uh, it made me happy that I put all of these things into effect. So what happened is it was my birthday, and for my birthday, Caroline and I both took the day off. We both had the day off for my birthday, but it just so happened that the next day there was going to be a huge winter storm, freezing rain, 6 inches of snow, 60-mile-per-hour winds. It was going to be a mess, right? The next day I had off. Caroline did not. She had to go to work. So she wanted to use the four-wheel drive, so she wanted to drive my truck. Well, my truck had been making weird noises, and I knew it needed an oil change, and so before that, on my birthday, I was going to change the oil, check it over, make sure that it was okay for her to drive during these severe weather conditions, okay? So I jack it up, I start draining the oil, I'm checking to see where the noise could be coming from, and my CV joint is ripped to shreds, okay? Driver's side CV joint, ripped to shreds, doesn't look good. I shouldn't be driving. I don't want snow and stuff packing in there, separating, braking. Some people call it a CV axle. It's what your tire hooks up to. It's what moves your tire. But not good, right? This tool right here, yes, this is a DeWalt impact wrench with a Milwaukee socket. Sorry if you hear the train. This tool right here helped me get that CV joint out. So what happened is because I had the tools, because I had the knowledge, I finished the oil change. And as I was finishing the oil change, Caroline jumped in her vehicle, went to Napa, picked up a CV joint for my truck, brought it back. When she got back, I took everything apart, took out the CV joint, put a new one in, buttoned it all up, took it for a test drive, drove better than it has driven in a long time. We went out to eat, came back, we drove it for over an hour. I retorqued all the tires, and that thing was better than it had been in a very long time, in a very short amount of time, because I had what I needed when I needed it. I was able to find a problem, fix a problem in no time at all. We also have an emergency fund. So the CV joint was $150. We just took the money out of our emergency fund and we paid for it. And having that emergency fund prepared and ready to go in case something like this happened made me extremely happy. Having the tools I needed to complete the job, not only quickly but easily. I didn't have to break my back trying to figure out how to get this thing apart or anything. I was able to take everything apart easily, put it back together easily, swap out the part. I mean, a lot of times, right, when you focus on personal preparedness, like I have a whole blackout kit in case the power goes out, and then the power doesn't go out and you're still buying things and you're wondering if it's worth buying these things. You're always wondering if you're wasting money. At least I am. I'm buying all these personal preparedness items, and then you start thinking of all the fun stuff you could have bought instead of the personal preparedness items, and you kind of are like, why don't I just go to Disneyland? Why don't I just do something fun? Or why don't I, you know what I mean? But then something like this happens, where you have the tool you need when you need it, you have the sockets you need, you have the tools that you need, you have the capabilities to do things, and being able to pay for the CV joint made me feel really good. Being able to replace the CV joint myself made me feel really good. But what made it all worth it was the fact that I knew that Caroline was going to have four-wheel drive in this storm, right? She took my truck. She got to work safely. She got home safely. She The four-wheel drive helped her get there. It helped her get back. It helped her with what she needed to do, having a vehicle that I could rely on to protect her in that storm. It makes it all worth it. You know what I mean? It's that moment where I was like, it's not a waste. It's not, this is important. This is worth it. This is every penny I've spent on personal preparedness. When the power did go out for those 2 days, then I was able to cook ramen noodles and soup and burgers and stuff. It's worth it. And even something as simple as being able to swap out a CV joint so that Caroline can safely make it to and from work. It's better than Disneyland. It's better than anything I could have spent my money on. And that's why I wanted to share the story. Because I think a lot of us get discouraged that, you're buying all the stuff and never using it, right? You play with it and you're glad you have it, and it makes you feel good knowing that you have it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But man, when you need it, it just makes everything you've done validated. It makes everything that has happened. I can't explain the feeling. I just hope that someday you get to feel the same feeling. I hope that you take my videos seriously and you invest in yourself. You invest in tools. You invest in knowledge. You invest in the things that I talk about on this channel so that you too can fix what needs to be fixed, do what needs to get done, and prevent problems from getting worse than they need to be, right? Because that's what personal preparedness is all about. It's about living comfortably, right? I can live like everyone else and suffer like everyone else. That's common. The reason we prepare, the reason we are preppers, is because we can live more comfortably. Yes, I spent my whole birthday working on a truck, but it was worth it, right? Being able to do that is all worth it. If I were to take that same vehicle to a mechanic, it'd probably be 2-3 weeks before they had time to even look at it, which means she wouldn't have had four-wheel drive, which means she'd probably end up in a ditch, which means she would probably damage that vehicle, getting it either going into the ditch or getting it out of the ditch, which would cause even more problems. And then everything just kind of compounds. But because I'm prepared, I get to live comfortably. Because I'm prepared, I get to prevent problems from getting worse. Because I'm prepared, I get the peace of mind knowing I can do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. It's just, I don't know why everyone doesn't do it. I don't know why this isn't the normal way of living. I don't know why this isn't the normal way of doing things. People think that people that are preppers are crazy. I think people that don't prepare are crazy. You know what I mean? It just seems backwards, but I just wanted to share that story with you because hopefully it inspires you. Hopefully my experiences can inspire you to do things that might not feel important in the moment, but when the moment comes, they mean a ton.